Everybody, I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. Two wide receivers will be looking to be #1 targets on the field in today's game. It's Benjamin Saints going up against Evans's Buccaneers.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Here's Elliott. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not going to have much success against him and his team.
Or, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything. Can you go around him? Can you go by him? Can you influence him to get him out of position so maybe you can wall him off? He's a really sharp, intelligent player, as well as a physical specimen.
For a big guy, Jameis sure can move. Did a nice job there picking up the first down with his legs.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
The first down carry by Elliott. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. We've become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year, is trying to make sure they draft people charged with trying to block.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. Sheldon Rankins busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Getting into the act on the opening drive here with a sack. And remember, they had 5 last week.
And they saw that on film, and that meant that they had to get together. Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, offensive line coach, receivers coach, and say, how do we beat this pressure? Because everyone has to win against the defense and get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback very quickly.
3rd and long for Winston. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's 4th down.
But when you're going up against a talented receiver like that, you just know that they're going to bring more people to him, right? They're going to double cover him every chance they get.
I think that is what we're going to see all game long. An early taste of that double, maybe even sometimes triple coverage we might see.
Yeah, I think what they're counting on, his talent to sometimes beat that double coverage.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. 62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And he's going to go backward. They get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11.
Here we go. 3,
From the gun, here's Hill. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down for a nice little gain. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on 1st down.
They run it again with Kamara. Kamara's got the 1st down and then some. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. It's a big play there for the Saints. 41 yards. And now a 1st down following that long gain. Out of the gun, Hill. Escaping the pressure right. Hill's hit, and he lost the football. And the Buccaneers have it. That's probably bringing back nightmares of last week, isn't it?
No doubt about it. Right now I'm looking over at the coaching staff, and I'm seeing the wheels turning in their heads. And you know what is happening? They're remembering how they started the season in camp, even in the offseason where they emphasized ball security, and they're wondering why the message isn't sinking in.
Yeah, 5 turnovers last week, now 1 here in the opening quarter. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. They'll run it now out of the gun. He finds an opening past the 40 and able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. So the run gets them the 1st, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. They keep on the ground with Elliott. And an alley to run. And he's going to take this one down to about the 46-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Offense in a good spot here, 2nd and 2. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. And they're on 3rd and short. They just tried to spread the field. It worked.
And I think that the spreading of the field, the extra receivers, has really become the next in the evolutionary chain in the NFL. Go all the way back in that situation, you're handed to the fullback, right? As we evolve, maybe you pitched it to your tailback. Now you spread the field, and you have your choices of where to throw it and complete it for a 1st down.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
That was very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. They go play action. Winston looking downfield for Godwin. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Jameis to throw it. And now another one thrown incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. Here's Brian Anger now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. And they got across the 50 last time but fumbled and turned it over, so they'll be looking to have a short-term memory here, Mr. Davis.
Not only a short-term memory, but a whole lot better ball security. Because
rush coming, and he's taken down. Levante David coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Saints football to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on 2nd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Hill. And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And we'll see what he can do on the return. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they will set up shop with outstanding field position in the red zone at the 17-yard line. Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. He takes it to the 15. A nice display of power, but not a ton to show for it. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Kamara's got the 1st down and then some. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints are able to cash in for 6. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a 2nd drive, no 1st down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
So the D-line's going to spread out. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it, because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
On play action, Winston. He's going to air one out. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
The Bucs on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Working out of the gun, Winston. Got a man, it's complete. Williams. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Really tough drive, but that run helped salvage something there because now there's something positive that came out of it. They got to see good blocking, good push by the offensive line, wide receivers trying to get involved, a good run by the back. And now maybe it'll be a catalyst for them to look at going forward, watching it on tape. Maybe they can keep incorporating that type of a run into their offense.
No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
Let's give plenty of credit to the defense there. They stuffed them on 2nd and short. But if you're the offense, why would you change what you're doing? You've got a whole nother down to pick it up, and maybe even a 4th if you so choose.
Here's Winston, and this is going to be incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. John Harbaugh going to roll the dice. They're going for it on 4th down. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So jumping from his free safety spot.
That tells you how aggressive they are on defense, doesn't it? They get everyone involved. He was a little too fast on that play.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. To throw, Winston. Buying time to his left. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
And that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. That'll go as a loss of 5. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10. From the gun, Winston. Airing this one out for Evans. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
That's a 1st down if he holds on, but you saw the contact, able to jar it free from him and force a 4th down.
Great play defensively there, as you said, just to knock it free, because if he had caught that, past the sticks, 1st down. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line. The Saints coming out now to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Being chased out left. And he'll be out of bounds right around the 14. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. On 2nd down, Kamara. And some room to roam now. And they'll get him down here at the 23. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Now Hill looking to throw on 1st. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Malik McDowell With a great push up front, he picks up the sack and a loss of 8. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. They go play fake, and it's Hill. Eluding the pressure right.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down. Went backwards. It's third and very long. And that is incomplete.
I wouldn't be shocked at all right now if there's a look of surprise on the big fella's face because he had the route that he wanted, running the corner. And usually he's able to use his body and catch the football, but a really nice play by the defenders, able to knock it away.
And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Now Jameis on second down. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
He's got Evans. A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
They go play action here on first down. And a first hookup with his all-pro tight end, Rob Gronkowski. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. First down now, but that clock rolling. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A little eager there coming in from his outside linebacker position.
You think the hard count got him there?
Yes.
Maybe that extra hut, you know, that extra emphasis on it. Got him to jump, and they picked up 5 yards.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Now a play fake here on first down. He's airing it out for Williams. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions quick.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, but fortunately he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it, and somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
A near turnover, but the offense recovers it. Now they'll try to regroup on second. Again, it's Kamara. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. A final shot before break. Hill. He's going to air one out. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Saints out on top. As we will toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando. That's where we check in with Larry Ridley with our EA Sports Halftime Report. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. They'll fake the handoff. Now Hill. Flush to his right. And he's going to lose a yard or two. Taken down behind the line. Quan Alexander in there to drop him for a loss on the play. The Saints on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7. A shotgun snap for Hill. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Second down, Winston. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on a line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Now a second down throw for Winston. Escaping the pressure right. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now Winston drops it off to Ajayi. Able to hold him to just 2 yards, and now it's 4th and goal.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
A decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they do inch a bit closer.
Yeah, still lots of time to go in this one. Take the points, move on, and let your defense try to get the ball back.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Play action. It's Hill. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. Give him 6 on the play, and it's a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Trying the left side with Kamara. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. The Saints on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Hill. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. They get 9 yards there, and they get a first down.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll make this a second down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. The Saints on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 1st and 10, Hill. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Levante David. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Wow, between last week and this week, that's now 8 interceptions. 5 a week ago, now 3 here.
Well, he is so lucky that one of the defense coordinators I played for, a man named Ken Donahue, is not there right now. Because he saw that happen during his coaching career, and he grabbed a quarterback in the midst of a streak like this and said, tell you what, son, why don't you throw it to the defensive guys, and let's see if our receivers can intercept it.
Well, he's got to figure something out because the current formula is not working. Back now here on EA Sports. It's Buccaneer football, but they've got work to do. They find themselves behind here to start the 4th quarter. So what will they do? On the ground, through the air, let's see. 2nd and 9. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Bucs now. Jameis now on 1st down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Looking for his all-pro tight end, Rob Gronkowski, and it's 2nd down.
Whenever they're trying to attack a zone defense, you're trying to figure out where your gaps are going to be. And depending on what type of zone they're playing, it could be on the outside, it could be in the middle, it could be in the seams, in the edges. In this case, they tried to attack the middle of the field, but this zone defense didn't allow it because they were able to see the ball come off the quarterback's hands, and everyone was able to react to the football and knock it away.
A really good pickup of 28 yards. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Jameis to throw it. Flushed out right. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay! Kenny Stills, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Bucs have made this a one-score game.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the...
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he is out of bounds as they'll start up past the 30. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. From the gun, here's Hill. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
It's a gain of 4, and it gets him the 1st. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You taking charge.
Staying on the ground on 1st with Kamara. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. And some options here for the offense on 2nd and 2. The busy night continues for Kamara. And some room to work. Past the 20. And all the way down to the 5. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 42 yards. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
toss play. Kamara. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and goal. They'll try the air now with Hill. Eluding the pressure right. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. On the ground, this is Kamara, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 6 yards puts him right on the doorstep, but now it'll be 4th and goal. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
So, Charles, I think from a defensive perspective, you have to look at that field goal there and consider it a win.
You were able to keep them within a touchdown, so no question about it. That was the kind of stand that keeps you in ball games.
Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. So this offense really needs to make something happen here late in the 4th with the football. On 1st and 10, Winston. Evans has it left side. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A good pickup there at 22. They go play action. Winston. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. J.J. Watt. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. Over the middle, he's got Tyrell Williams. And he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. It's a big play there for the Buccaneers. 47 yards. He'll look to throw. And he holds it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bucs are within a 2-point conversion of tying us up. Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion. Here comes the D swarming to the line. Back to throw. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. And a failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. And they just about had to get that recovery to have any chance. They only have 1 timeout. You look at the clock. Now let's do the math here, Charles. This one's pretty much over.
Yeah, we do have a chart here, don't we, that tells us about the timeouts.
You do. I'm not as smart as you.
And in looking at it, you're exactly right. Chart's not going to help them here at all. They're pretty much done at this stage. They had to have that recovery.
Now Kamara. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
A great Monday night to wrap up the week in football. 2 division rivals and a great finish ahead as we come up on 1st and 10. Now a pitch out to Kamara. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. It doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Now they'll toss it out right to Kamara. And some room to maneuver. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be third down. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college and happen in the NFL. The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. And now before they run this fourth down play, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They've got two more to use here in the final stages. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will push the lead up to 5. So they get the 3 here, but you wonder whether that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've now made it so they need a touchdown rather than a field goal to catch them. But you're right. If they'd gotten 6 out of that drive, this would be a much different game.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula is not working right now. Well, we saw a close game that kept us on the edge of our seats down to that final whistle. And right before that final whistle, defense with one last exclamation mark there getting the sack to end it.
I love how you phrased it because we were waiting to see what would happen. Obviously, we thought something would happen downfield. Instead, it happens in the offensive backfield, and that's your ball game.
So for the Saints, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll have another road date next week with the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, they